suffice, I can say two things about Dawkins. I think that I know Richard Dawkins and I like him, despite everything. I think he's a brilliant scientist. A brilliant populariser of science. He's not the original scientist, but he's a brilliant populariser of science. If you read his book on the way the eye is formed, it's just wonderful. I just wish he hadn't got involved in all this stuff.
This is Melvyn Bragg, Lord Klaus Moser's mate, talking about power and geopolitical manipulation in Sydney, in a posh suit, on behalf of the world's philosophers. And when I was on honeymoon in fascist Norway, he was given the same set of rules out of the radio when we were just trying to enjoy ourselves after the religious ceremony that we had just engaged in the UK, where I've got all the director numbers for the man in the Tring Church that is part of the massive fraud that is Christianity. And I'm going to make a wee video later on, but let's hear what this expert in the sector has to say.
Not because I disagree with this atheism. The ideas that he's come up with about how there isn't really a God are the sort of ideas that everybody in this room came up with when they were 15 or 16. There's nothing new there. That's not the point. The point is two things. First of all, his nastiness to Christianity in particular, and secondly, I'm afraid, his ignorance. Now, his nastiness is the way he holds Christianity particularly, but all religions, responsible for all the violence and destructive atrocities in the world. It's just not true. Genghis Khan in the Middle Ages, his armies, the Mongols, are reported to have killed more than 20 million people. This is a time when the population of London was 70,000. So you imagine how many went. He wasn't much of a Christian. In 8th century China, there were wars between all...
You remember we used to call malformed kids Mongols? I have a theory that God understands that issue, and that the Prime Minister's children that have been grieved for recently, they are the victims of the Prime Minister's political beliefs, and all of it is coming pouring out. That's Gordon Brown, David Cameron. They've had children, they've had to bury them under 10 years of age because of what they do to the citizens of the world. That's my pathology theory on religion. Let's hear what this guy thinks about the benign thing that is Christianity and its missions.